Hi everyone, this is Marianne and welcome to my channel. The year 2023 will be starting in just a couple of hours, and we, the people in the planner community, have certainly been busy figuring out not only what planners we will be using next year, but also what goals to aim for and the systems that we need to put in place so that we can achieve those goals more effectively, systematically, and with less stress. I know I've been busy preparing myself, and one of the things that I made to use as a tool for achieving my goals was this life notebook that you can see me flipping through here. I have a video on my channel about how I made this notebook, and what it's for, and I will link it down below. Another thing that I did to prepare for achieving my goals in the coming year was to fill out my Moxie Life Plan to Thrive workbook. The video of my process and opinions will also be linked down below. And included in the set of free printables, together with a workbook, is a sheet for filling in the schedule for an ideal week. And I filled out two different schedules. The first schedule will apply from January 2 through maybe February 29, hopefully only February 15. And the second schedule will apply after that, and this second schedule will be my long-term ideal week schedule. The reason why I have a 6 week or a 2 month schedule for now is because I really have to cram. You guys, I really need to submit my final graduate thesis and get through the final thesis defense. It has been taking me forever, and it's been a constant source of stress and anguish and disappointment because I am not able to do it for some reason that I cannot figure out. It's not just my chronic illness, there's something else that I cannot pinpoint. I did finish writing the thesis proposal and defended it last August 2021, and it went fine. But the final thesis, it's not easy. Somehow I feel like it's so difficult, but I have to do it. I want to do it because if I achieve that goal, its benefits to my life will be lifetime. I have nothing to lose in finishing that task, but I have everything to gain. The dean of our graduate school granted me yet another extension without requiring me to go through a penalty course, and I'm afraid that if I don't submit and defend my thesis within the extension period, that'll be it. I will no longer be granted another extension. So this is really the deadliest deadline for me. I have no choice. And giving up is not an option. But then, of course, just so I will not go crazy, I also have scheduled other things here as recommended by the Moxie Life system because we do need to have some kind of balance to our lives. There are different areas in our life, of course, not just learning. But the thesis is the priority. That is my frog that I have to swallow every single day, and of course, it requires deep work. If everything goes according to plan or schedule, by the middle of February or the first week of March, I can begin using my long-term daily ideal schedule, which will then be focused on writing the first draft of my second novel. And just like in the previous schedule, I have also scheduled that to begin at 5 a.m. because that would be the frog to swallow, which you should also always do first thing, very first thing, so that you can get it out of the way and then you can proceed with your day in a more leisurely manner with the knowledge that you have already achieved something major for the day. Especially if it's deep work, it's best to do it in the morning. So they say. So they say. Okay, so I decided to once again actually design and print a daily schedule for myself, which will be an overlay that will go into the daily pages of my disc-bound planner. I fired up my Pages software and then replicated that January to February schedule over this digital layout of my 24-hour time tracking sheet. And I will show you an actual time tracking sheet later on, but for the purpose of doing the layout, I have it here so I can place the elements for the daily schedule accurately. 5 a.m. to 11, I will be working on my thesis. That is 6 hours of deep work. And after that, I will need to decompress by journaling for an hour, and then it will be lunch break. And then for the next 2 hours after that, I will write about 500 words of my second novel. I think that it is a light daily goal that is doable. And it will be a good shift for me to go through. Like after heavy academic writing, the journaling and the lunch break will be the transition, and then I move to creative writing. And then there is half an hour of treadmill towards the evening, and then around an hour of reading before going to sleep. And I need to go to sleep at a certain time if I am to wake up before 5 a.m. the next morning to do the whole thing over again. And then I just removed that gray border because I don't really need that. This overlay will be placed over sheets that have colored borders already, and the gray will just ruin the effect. I just placed that gray there earlier for my visual anchor while I was doing the layout. I decided to try printing this in two different versions, both having the exact same schedule, but with one having the grid base and the timestamps together with the actual tasks, and the other version will be only with the tasks and nothing else. And then it was a good thing that I realized that I missed one task, so I came back and put it in. It's just a minor one, but part of the goal nevertheless. And that task is to scan and shred my journal and planner archives as a way for me to declutter. Now, in my Moxie Life workbook, I have reserved an hour for the scanning and shredding, but here in this overlay, I set only half an hour for it because maybe an hour is too long. But because there is nothing scheduled after that, it's an open schedule after 3:30 p.m., I can extend the task for scanning and shredding for another half hour if I want to or if I need to. And the scanning and shredding is actually a very rudimentary task. It does not require any deep work, so it will be a good way to decompress after writing 500 words for my second novel. As I'm doing this voiceover, you might be hearing some of the fireworks already starting. It's 6 o'clock at night on December 31 right now. And here are the two versions of the layout printed on tracing paper. This is just ordinary tracing paper that you can find in any office supply store, and it's very cheap and comes in a pack of 10 sheets. An element that I added to the final design is this header right here that says daily schedule starting January 2, 2023, because that is the very first Monday of the year, and that's when I will begin. This is the version with a grid base and the timestamps preserved. And this is the version with a schedule and nothing else. And I don't think you can see it in the video because it's very faint, but I have placed cut lines on the printout. But at this point, I will just cut up a little bit of the excess so that I can laminate it without using too much laminating plastic. After the lamination step, I can cut them down to their final size using my paper trimmer along the cut lines that I mentioned. I am intentionally cutting off the excess edge of lamination that provides sealing because this is just one sheet of paper. It will not come apart without that sealed edge. And I do have a video on my channel talking about the 3 different situations in which we can completely cut off the excess lamination sealed edge. I will link that video down below. And this is how the overlay will look when placed over the 24-hour time tracking sheets that are already in my planner. I have a video about what's exactly in my daily pages, as well as a flip through of my daily pages for January 2023, and I will link both of those videos down below. And this is the version with the grid base and the timestamps, and as you can see, it is a perfect match. Once the overlay is on there, everything falls into place visually. And the boxes in the overlay are color-coded to match what's in my daily pages. University is maroon, novel is green, and other things are yellow. The final step is the hole punching, and I do this the same way I always have, with a paper template, a couple of binder clips, a single hole puncher, and a pair of scissors because my Happy Planner punch cannot punch plastic. And now, after both of the versions are finished, I can now place them on the discs and I can now decide which version to use. This is the version with the grid base and the timestamps, and it looks okay. But here is the version with just the tasks, and I think it looks neater. But I kind of like the one with the grid base and the timestamps. It looks more complete to me, to my eyes. Now, technically, no schedule really requires an overlay, but I decided to do an overlay because the purpose of the overlay is so that I can see that the actual activities that I track in the 24-hour time tracking sheet will be the exact same or almost almost the exact same as what's on the overlay. And when the two sheets are stacked together, seeing the matching information together in a single view will give me a sense of satisfaction, which will in turn motivate me to continue doing the same thing every single day until the goal is achieved. And of course, it goes without saying that I'm just going to transfer this overlay from day to day. This idea, by the way, does not belong to me. It's an idea suggested or shared by Joanne Arnold Velchek in a disc-bound notebook users online group that I'm a member of. When I first tried this out, it didn't work beyond the first week, but I really need a schedule. I really need a schedule, you guys. It will give me the sense of urgency that I need so that I can finally finish the thing. So I'm trying this out again. I hope it works this time. So please wish me luck. And that is my little video for you today. I wish you all a productive and meaningful year ahead. Thanks for watching. Bye.